It was early autumn when Wren returned. That kind of gentle cold where everything feels like it's slowing down just to listen. The trees hadn't fully turned yet, still holding on to green like they weren't ready for change. Luca had never left the town, and now, Wren had come back to it, and to him. They didn't rush anything. Wren moved into the little apartment above the old bookstore, the one with crooked stairs and a cat named Biscuit who hated everyone but him. Luca came by after work most evenings, sometimes with takeout, sometimes with nothing but silence. Wren didn't mind. He had learned to understand Luca's quiet the way someone learns to read stars, patiently, without expectation. One night, Luca stayed longer than usual. They were on the floor, backs against the wall, feet brushing.
Do you ever wonder if we're too late?
Luca didn't answer right away. Then, we're right on time.
And that was it. No dramatic kiss, no sudden declarations, just Wren leaning over, resting his head on Luca's shoulder, and Luca pressing his lips against Wren's hair like a promise he'd been holding in for years. They started building a life, slow, steady, like a house on a hill, brick by brick. Wren painted again, not for school, not for galleries, just for joy. His art turned from moody blues and restless lines to soft yellows and long open strokes. Luca built frames for them, sanded smooth by calloused hands. He even made Wren a small studio in the shed behind his house, cleaned it out, added windows, rewired the lights, never said a word about it until it was done. Wren cried when he saw it.
You keep making space for me.
Luca, ever so softly, you were always meant to be here.
Not everything was perfect. Some nights Wren woke up with panic in his chest, the city still echoing in his dreams. Other days, Luca would go quiet for hours, lost in memories of his mother, who died before Wren ever came to town. They argued, about nothing and about everything. Wren would push, Luca would retreat, but they always came back to the same place. The kitchen table, 2 mugs of tea, the space between them growing smaller.
Do you ever regret going?
Wren looked at him for a long moment. I don't, because I came back, and you were still here.
Narrator, Vo. That night, Luca pulled Wren close and whispered, Luca, then I'll always be here.
Narrator, Vo. Years passed. They bought a small piece of land on the edge of the cliffs, where the sea was loud and wild, narrator, Vo, and built the house Luca once promised, with big windows that caught every sunrise, and walls that smelled of cedar and something warm and permanent. Narrator Vio. The townspeople called them the boys, even when they were no longer boys. They didn't care. Narrator Vo. They grew older, wrinkled, softer around the edges. Wren's hair turned silver. Luca's hands grew slower but never stopped building. Narrator Vio. They lived like the tide, sometimes close, sometimes quiet, but always returning. Narrator Vo. One day, when Luca couldn't lift the heavy beams anymore, and Wren's eyes struggled to follow the brush, they sat on that same pier, feet dangling like they did when they were 17.
Narrator, Vo. Luca turned to him, voice quieter than the waves. Luca, you know what I regret?
Narrator Vio. Wren braced himself.
Luca, that I didn't kiss you at the bus stop, the very first day.
Narrator Vio. Wren laughed, full and bright even after all the years. Wren, I would have let you.
Narrator, Vo. Luca leaned in, kissed the corner of Wren's smile. Luca, I know.
Narrator Vio. When Luca was gone, soft and slow like everything he ever did, Wren sat alone for a long time. The house was still full of his presence, in the creak of the stairs, in the quiet drawers where love letters lived, in the pencil marks on the kitchen wall measuring years they spent growing side by side. Wren painted again, not to forget, but to remember. He painted Luca's hands, Luca's eyes, Luca's silence, Luca's laughter, Luca's love, not loud, not cinematic, but enduring, like stars you only notice once the sky is quiet enough. And in the gallery he opened by the sea, he called it, The Distance Between Stars, and every canvas said, I found him, I waited, and he came home.